Data privacy is a top concern and should be for everyone, especially in medicine. What we've really grappled with is what have we learned from Mark's experiences running Facebook to make sure that we are being incredibly proactive about this.
For years, she stood beside one of the most powerful tech giants in the world. She's not just the wife of the man behind Facebook. Priscilla Chan is a dedicated pediatrician.
Chan may be one of the most powerful women in the world, married to one of the most powerful men in the world, but she still has to find her own way to express her emotions. Speaking with Quartz, Chan came right out with it, saying, "I want to tell you up front, I'm a crier."
A billionaire philanthropist and a loving mother. But even in the world of wealth and success, no marriage is free from challenges. Recently, Priscilla made a rare and unexpected revelation about her relationship with Mark Zuckerberg, opening up about the ups and downs they've faced together. Many believe their marriage to be picture perfect, an unshakable bond built on love, ambition, and shared dreams. However, Priscilla's announcement has left the world stunned. What struggles have they endured behind closed doors? Has their marriage been affected by the enormous pressure of running one of the biggest tech empires in history? Or is there something deeper that no one saw coming? Stay with us as we uncover the details of Priscilla Chan's shocking announcement and what it reveals about her life with Mark Zuckerberg. You won't want to miss this. How Priscilla Chan and Mark Zuckerberg's love story began. Priscilla Chan and Mark Zuckerberg's journey started in an unexpected way during Priscilla's first year at Harvard. She met Mark just 4 weeks into college, but at that time, her life was anything but easy. Born to Vietnamese refugees, Priscilla grew up in Quincy, a modest suburb near Boston. Her parents, Dennis and Yvonne, worked long hours, often 18-hour days, to run a small Chinese restaurant. Because of their demanding jobs, Priscilla was mostly raised by her grandmother. She attended Quincy High School, where she faced bullying and often felt like she didn't belong. To avoid cruel classmates, she sometimes ate lunch in the bathroom. Despite the challenges, she excelled in science, especially robotics. One of her biggest inspirations was her science teacher, Mr. Swanson. He encouraged her to pursue biology and even suggested she take up tennis to improve her college applications. His advice paid off. Priscilla got into Harvard.
Chan may have gone to Harvard, a university famous for producing captains of industry, politicians, and other notable public figures, but her life goal is to help people in any way she can.
A moment that filled her with pride. But when she arrived, she found herself struggling once again. Many of her classmates came from wealthy families, spoke differently, and carried expensive designer bags, things that were completely foreign to her. To support herself, Priscilla joined a work-study program. One of her tasks was preparing afternoon tea for students in her dorm every Thursday. She made chai tea and Rice Krispies treats, adding a special touch to her time at Harvard. It was during this period that she met Mark Zuckerberg. A year ahead of her, Mark was already known for his coding skills. He had created a controversial website, FaceMash, which allowed students to rate each other's looks. The site violated Harvard's privacy rules, leading to disciplinary action and rumors that he might be expelled. At a farewell party, his friends threw for him, assuming he was getting kicked out. Mark met Priscilla while waiting in line for the bathroom. With uncertainty about his future at Harvard, he wasted no time in asking her out. After the party, he invited her and some friends back to his dorm. Priscilla remembers their first conversation fondly, but admits it wasn't a grand love-at-first-sight moment. Over time, their bond grew stronger, and what started as a simple meeting in a bathroom line turned into a lifelong partnership. But how did their relationship evolve into the marriage they have today? Stay with us as we uncover the full story of Priscilla Chan and Mark Zuckerberg's journey together. A strong and unexpected connection. Priscilla Chan often looked back on how she and Mark Zuckerberg first connected. One of the biggest things that brought them together was their shared sense of humor. Unlike most people, she actually understood his nerdy coding jokes, which impressed him right away. She remembered noticing a set of beer glasses in Mark's dorm. They had a programming joke written in C++, a computer language that most people wouldn't understand. But for Priscilla, who had always loved science and problem solving, it was both funny and clever. That small detail helped her realize that Mark was different just like her. Neither of them truly fit into the wealthy and elite social circles of Harvard, and that common feeling made their bond even stronger. After a few dates, their connection grew, but Priscilla couldn't help but be shocked by Mark's attitude toward rules. She had worked incredibly hard to get into Harvard, overcoming many challenges along the way.
When I showed up at Harvard and saw a world that I had never even imagined, it needed to be my life's work to give back.
Meanwhile, Mark seemed to take it all lightly. She remembered one moment in particular during their second date. He casually mentioned that he had a test the next day but wasn't planning to study. Instead, he chose to spend time with her. For someone as disciplined and responsible as Priscilla, this was both surprising and frustrating. How could he be so carefree? But at the same time, there was something about his rebellious nature that intrigued her. Even though she didn't always understand his approach, she found it exciting in a way she hadn't expected. In the end, Mark didn't get expelled from Harvard, but he did make the bold decision to drop out to focus on Facebook, the social media platform that would change the world. Priscilla, on the other hand, took a different path. She stayed in school, determined to follow her passion for education and helping others. Even as a student, she spent her free time tutoring children from struggling communities near her hometown. She believed in the power of education and wanted to make a real difference in people's lives. After graduating, she became a middle school science teacher, dedicating herself to shaping young minds. In many ways, Priscilla and Mark were complete opposites. She was structured and focused, while he thrived on taking risks. But despite their differences, they had something powerful in common. Their shared values, deep respect for one another, and the ability to find humor in life kept their bond strong. So what was it that truly made their relationship work? Stay with us as we explore the story behind their journey together. Different beginnings, shared dreams. Mark Zuckerberg and Priscilla Chan came from completely different worlds. Mark grew up in a comfortable, middle-class Jewish family in upstate New York. His childhood was stable, filled with opportunities, and shaped by a strong education. Priscilla's story, however, was one of struggle and sacrifice. Her parents were refugees who had fled Vietnam during the war in the 1960s. She often shared how her Chinese-Vietnamese grandparents in Saigon faced an impossible choice, sending their children away on small, unsafe boats, hoping at least some of them would survive. Her mother, Yvonne, was only 12 when she was placed on one of those boats, alongside the daughter of a family friend. The journey was dangerous, but they were eventually rescued and taken to a refugee camp in Thailand. Years later, Yvonne married Dennis, the brother of her childhood friend. It took nearly a decade for their entire family to reunite in the United States. Born in Massachusetts in February 1985, Priscilla grew up understanding the sacrifices her family had made for a better future. Even as an adult, sharing these memories often brought tears to her eyes, especially after becoming a mother herself.
Finally, it's a girl, and there was also a big promise today from the head of Facebook and his wife. Here's Cecilia Vega.
The proud parents today announcing the birth of their little girl, Max. Where else but on Facebook?
During an interview, she was asked about former President Donald Trump's harsh words about immigrants. His comments made her uncomfortable, especially since her own family had once been refugees. Having attended dinners at the White House under both Trump and Barack Obama, she believed in using those moments to focus on meaningful discussions, regardless of political differences. Priscilla's calm and thoughtful nature balanced Mark's direct and assertive personality. Their relationship surprised many, especially when they had a small, private wedding in 2012. With fewer than 100 guests, they tied the knot in their home in Palo Alto. The event revealed a personal side of Mark that few had seen, far from the socially awkward image portrayed in the social network. Though Priscilla preferred to stay out of the public eye, she gradually stepped forward to promote their charity, the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, CZ1. In interviews, she shared how they kept their busy lives organized. Every Thursday, they held a one-on-one meeting to discuss work decisions, and she even kept a list of important topics to stay on track. That week's big discussion? Budget planning for CZI. Despite their packed schedules, they made sure to have a weekly date night. Priscilla laughed as she recalled how Mark once left an important corporate retreat early, even telling media mogul Rupert Murdoch that he had to leave. for a movie night with her. Their ability to balance work and family showed a strong partnership built on respect, teamwork, and a shared mission to create change. But behind their seemingly perfect marriage, they faced their fair share of challenges. So how did they handle the tough times? Stay with us to find out. A strong bond in their marriage. When asked how often Mark Zuckerberg seeks advice from his wife, Priscilla Chan, especially during times when Facebook faces heavy criticism, her response was measured. She explained that they talk about everything and often share their thoughts. Through these conversations, she sees how deeply he thinks about things. She added that she enjoys hearing his perspective. However, her answer hinted that their discussions might lean more toward Mark looking for reassurance rather than an equal exchange of ideas. This dynamic was noticeable in a CBS interview they gave at their home in Palo Alto. During the interview, Priscilla playfully remarked that when it came to learning Mandarin, Mark was better at speaking than listening, a comment that could just as easily apply to his communication in English as well. Despite this, their home life reflects a close and loving family. In the same CBS interview, Priscilla was seen baking with their daughters in their spacious kitchen. Their house, a classic white clapboard home with a cozy porch, rocking chairs, white walls, wooden floors, and a fireplace framed by bookshelves, felt warm and inviting. The living room, furnished with large gray sofas, combined comfort with style. Mark originally bought the property for $7 million in 2011 and later spent $44 million buying the 4 surrounding homes to create guest houses and recreational spaces. Even with his demanding career, Mark takes fatherhood seriously. When their second daughter, August, was born in 2017, the couple announced her birth by sharing a heartfelt letter to their newborn.
Facebook's billionaire founder Mark Zuckerberg announcing Thursday that he and his wife Priscilla Chan are expecting their second child. In a Facebook post, Zuckerberg said he was thrilled to give his daughter Max a sister.
Mark took 2 months of paternity leave to spend time with her. According to Priscilla, he remains an active parent, and they divide childcare duties. She manages the mornings while Mark takes care of bedtime. During the day, their children attend nursery school while both parents work. Mark's bedtime routine for his daughters is far from ordinary. While he reads to them, he also introduces them to coding, something he started with August when she was just 3 years old. Priscilla, aware that this might seem unusual, explains that modern tools make learning coding easy and fun for young children. Using visual methods, they can grasp concepts in an engaging way. For Mark, blending parenting with technology comes naturally, as he believes these skills are valuable for the future. Despite living in a fast-paced digital world, the Zuckerberg family stays connected to traditions. But what does this really mean? Stay with us to find out. Holding onto traditions in a changing world. Mark Zuckerberg and Priscilla Chan are raising their daughters with deep respect for their cultural and religious roots. Their family follows Jewish traditions, but with a modern and personal touch. Instead of a typical bedtime prayer, Mark recites it in Mandarin. Priscilla, who grew up speaking both Cantonese and Mandarin, had always hoped their children would grow up bilingual. However, with a slight sigh, she admitted that their efforts hadn't been as successful as they had wished. Despite this, they continue to expose their children to different cultures and create unique family traditions. Every Friday evening, they celebrate Shabbat with close friends and family. But instead of sticking to traditional meals, Priscilla blends their backgrounds by serving a mix of Chinese and kosher dishes. This way, their daughters experience the beauty of both cultures while staying connected to their Jewish faith. For them, these dinners are more than just meals, they are moments of togetherness, filled with stories, laughter, and the warmth of loved ones. During the first lockdown, their family stayed in Palo Alto, managing work from home while also homeschooling their children. Like many others, they faced everyday struggles, from keeping their kids engaged to dealing with food delivery challenges. Although it's hard to imagine the Zuckerberg family running out of supplies like toilet paper, their experience during the pandemic was relatable in many ways. Priscilla found comfort in cooking, something that became a creative escape for her during those challenging times. She has a deep love for baking and is a big fan of the Great British Bake Off. But it's not just the baking that draws her to the show, it's the kindness and teamwork among the contestants. She described a moment where 2 women, both making intricate rocking horse cookie sculptures, helped each other instead of fiercely competing. To Priscilla, that simple act of support was inspiring. "That's what I need," she reflected, believing that the world could use more cooperation and kindness. For Mark and Priscilla, keeping traditions alive doesn't mean following them exactly as they were passed down. Instead, they find ways to make them their own. Their Shabbat dinners are a perfect example. They take a religious tradition and blend it with their personal experiences, making it meaningful for their children. Even in their daily lives, they find ways to balance their busy schedules with family time. Mark, despite his demanding career, remains an active father. He ensures that he spends quality time with his daughters, whether it's reading to them, playing games, or introducing them to coding. He started teaching their daughter August how to code when she was just 3 years old. While this might seem unusual to some, Priscilla explains that modern tools make it fun and accessible for young kids. Through simple visual methods, children can develop problem-solving skills in an engaging way. Despite their focus on modern technology, they also emphasize the importance of values such as kindness, hard work, and family connection. They want their daughters to understand where they come from and to respect different cultures. Whether it's celebrating Jewish holidays, embracing Chinese traditions, or simply spending time as a family, they make sure their home is filled with love and learning. Their story shows that traditions don't have to stay the same to be meaningful. By making them personal and adapting them to fit their family, Mark and Priscilla ensure that their daughters grow up with a strong sense of identity, connection, and belonging. The secret to a happy marriage. What Priscilla Chan revealed. What makes a marriage last? Especially when billions of dollars and worldwide fame are involved. The world has watched powerful couples like Bill and Melinda Gates and Jeff Bezos and Mackenzie Scott go their separate ways. Given these high-profile divorces, many wonder how Mark Zuckerberg and Priscilla Chan have managed to keep their marriage strong. For them, the key seems to be spending quality time as a family, staying active, and enjoying simple pleasures together. One of their favorite pastimes is playing board games. Priscilla once shared that they love Settlers of Catan, Citadels, and Monopoly Deal. She even joked that German board games are often the best, adding that if the Germans say a game is good, it's worth playing. While they don't play video games as a couple, Priscilla has a surprisingly relaxed attitude toward technology use in their household. Despite her deep involvement in early childhood education and healthcare, she doesn't strictly limit screen time for their daughters. Their eldest, Max, has her own iPad for learning games and math problems, while both girls have supervised computer access at their preschool. Rather than imposing harsh restrictions, Priscilla believes in guiding children and teaching them to use technology wisely. When asked about the potential dangers of social media, especially criticisms that Instagram negatively affects teenage girls, she firmly stated that their daughters won't be allowed on social platforms until they turn 13, following existing rules. She acknowledged the challenges, but emphasized the importance of open conversations. Children, she explained, are part of many communities, both online and offline, and parents can't control everything. Instead, they should focus on preparing their kids to handle these spaces responsibly. Beyond parenting, Priscilla and Mark have faced criticism over the spread of misinformation on Facebook, especially regarding COVID-19 vaccines. This issue was particularly relevant to Priscilla, as the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, founded in 2015, has invested heavily in vaccine research and development.
He and his wife, Dr. Priscilla Chan, announced the latest initiative tied to that philanthropic effort Wednesday by committing to invest $3 billion over the next decade to build technology intended to speed up research and ultimately eradicate a number of diseases.
When questioned about Facebook's role in spreading anti-vaccine propaganda, she responded thoughtfully. Rather than dismissing concerns outright, she stressed the importance of listening to people and understanding their fears. She explained that shutting down conversations often makes it harder to address the root causes of misinformation. Instead, engaging with people and offering clear, factual information is more effective in changing minds. Priscilla also spoke about how her perspective on racism changed in recent years. As the daughter of Chinese-Vietnamese immigrants, she had always believed that racism in the U.S. primarily affected Black and Hispanic communities. However, the rise in anti-Asian hate crimes during the COVID-19 pandemic changed her understanding. Seeing elderly Asian women who reminded her of her grandmother become targets of violent attacks was heartbreaking. In her culture, respecting elders is a deeply held value.
An elderly Asian woman turned the tables on an attacker in San Francisco. Her name is Zhao Zhanji.
So witnessing such cruelty was especially painful. This moment became a turning point for her. It made her realize the widespread nature of racial discrimination and inspired her to take a stronger stand for inclusivity and justice. She now sees the fight against racism as a shared struggle. While the problem is enormous, she believes that recognizing these issues and fostering understanding among communities can lead to meaningful change. Challenges and controversies. Despite their strong marriage, Mark and Priscilla have not been free from controversy.
Mark Zuckerberg got married to his longtime girlfriend, Priscilla Chan. They've been together for 9 years, and it's kind of interesting the timing of their wedding.
As one of the most powerful couples in the tech world, they have often found themselves in the middle of debates about privacy, data security, and the influence of social media. Facebook has been repeatedly criticized for its handling of user data, political misinformation, and harmful content. Many have questioned whether Mark and Priscilla, who have invested billions into philanthropy, are doing enough to ensure Facebook's platform is a force for good. Priscilla has acknowledged these concerns, but she maintains that change requires patience, effort, and collaboration with experts across different fields. Their philanthropic work through the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative aims to address some of the world's biggest challenges, from curing diseases to improving education. But critics argue that their efforts cannot undo the harm caused by Facebook's widespread influence.
Mark Zuckerberg, creator of Harvard's thefacebook.com.
At the heart of it all, Mark and Priscilla remain focused on their family. While their life is far from ordinary, they make a conscious effort to maintain a sense of normalcy for their daughters. They cherish the small moments playing games, sharing meals, and discussing important issues as a family. For them, a happy marriage isn't just about wealth or status. It's about communication, shared interests, and supporting each other's dreams. By blending their personal values with their global responsibilities, they strive to create a future where their children and millions of others can thrive. Facing controversy, Priscilla Chan's response. During a conversation about the challenges surrounding their work, Priscilla Chan was asked about a difficult issue, the criticism that Facebook benefits from spreading hate speech and misinformation. Many believe that the same platform funding charitable projects through the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, including anti-racism efforts, also plays a role in dividing society by promoting harmful content. Chan remained calm in her response. She explained that her dedication to these causes was personal and meaningful, regardless of Facebook's involvement. She felt grateful for the opportunity to create change on a large scale. The initiative's goals are ambitious, tackling global health challenges and working toward ending all diseases by the end of the century. She emphasized that she and her husband, Mark Zuckerberg, shared a deep passion for these efforts. However, the question remained, could their dedication truly balance out the criticisms against Facebook? Just days before this conversation, Frances Haugen, a former Facebook employee turned whistleblower, testified before the U.S. Senate. She revealed troubling details about Facebook's operations, claiming that its algorithms encouraged people to engage with harmful and divisive content. Haugen argued that Facebook contributed to political instability, societal division, and even the decline of young women's self-esteem. Her testimony gained widespread attention, with both Democrats and Republicans agreeing that social media needed stricter regulations. Haugen's claims suggested that Facebook prioritized user engagement over safety.
Global head of safety, Antigone Davis, she testified in front of the same subcommittee last week. Antigone, thanks so much for talking to us this morning. Now, Haugen says that Facebook prioritizes profits over safety,
leading to the spread of dangerous content. In response, Facebook defended itself, arguing that it was working to balance free speech with the need for a safe platform. When asked about these accusations, Chan appeared deeply troubled, especially by claims that Facebook played a role in fueling ethnic hatred. She acknowledged that these issues were complex and couldn't be solved with simple solutions. However, she expressed confidence that Mark and his team were actively working to improve the platform. She admitted that these were tough challenges, but she believed they needed to be addressed. Reflecting on the origins of the Chan Zuckerberg initiative, Chan explained that she and Mark launched the foundation not because they had all the answers, but because they knew it would take a lifetime to make a real difference. At just 30 years old, they started CZY with a goal of tackling problems that had long been ignored. They understood that real change would take time and persistence. When the conversation turned to taxes, Chan was asked about the criticism directed at wealthy tech figures who choose to donate large sums instead of paying higher taxes. She responded firmly, making it clear that no one could avoid paying taxes. However, she also expressed support for tax reform, believing that the system should be fair so that everyone contributes to society and helps lift others up. As the discussion grew more personal, Chan spoke about CZI's $350 million donation to the Just Trust, an organization dedicated to criminal justice reform in the U.S. She described the justice system as harsh and flawed, explaining that this issue was deeply personal to her. She pointed out that 1 in 2 people in the U.S. are affected by the criminal justice system, either directly or through a close family member. She found it heartbreaking to see so much potential wasted due to mass incarceration and the lack of opportunities for redemption. Chan then shared a personal story from her early days as a pediatrician. She recalled working at a San Francisco hospital that provided care for uninsured patients. One of her first patients was a young girl whose father had been imprisoned. The family was hopeful when he was released, but soon after, he was sent back to prison. Chan's voice softened as she admitted, "That hurt." The experience had a lasting impact on her and reinforced her belief in the need for criminal justice reform. As the conversation wound down, it took a lighter turn. Chan talked about her love for British television, particularly the show called The Midwife. She smiled as she described how the series balanced emotional depth with uplifting moments. At the end of the interview, she unexpectedly asked if she could offer a hug, showing a rare moment of warmth and sincerity. But despite their seemingly happy marriage and shared goals, rumors about the Zuckerbergs continue to surface. Could there be hidden struggles behind closed doors? Why do divorce speculations keep spreading online? Share your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Also, click the next video on your screen. You won't want to miss it.